What is going on, guys? Car Guy here. Last week, the old Camaro left me on the side of the road. I think that was its first time to have any major issues whenever I was driving. It's pretty reliable, and the issue isn't really major. It's just something stupid. I'll show y'all what it is. This sucker overheated pretty badly. By far the worst overheating experience I've ever had in any of my vehicles. And it actually, all it did was throw a belt. I called it, as the thermostat said, I think it was like 245. But you got to remember, with 456s, I was cruising. It was like 3,500 RPMs. So when I looked down and the gauge said 240, by the time I pulled over, it was already up about 265. And I immediately shut it off, jumped out, started turning the water pump over by hand to cool it down a little. But I didn't keep a second belt with me, so that's something I'm going to start doing now. This one's never chunked a belt before in all 3 or 4 engines that I've had in it, but I guess it doesn't look like it loosened up any. I don't know what it did. I did notice that alternator, excuse me, almost looks a little bit wobbly there, but how the pulley's spinning, I don't think that would chunk it, but I mean, you never know. So I'm going to put on the first person head rig here and throw a new belt on with my helpers here. Here's the other one. I'm going to throw a new belt on. We're going to drive it real quickly and have a second one in the car. I was looking at this belt. I think it doesn't sit quite as deep in the pulleys as the old one did. This is not the same part number. It's the same length overall, but get down there. I didn't loosen that a whole lot. That's why it's a little tougher to get it up. At lengthwise, it's very similar. But I don't think it sits as far in that pulley groove as the old one did. Let me get my pry bar up here. Like I said, this was a really, what I consider a stupid breakdown. I can't believe I don't keep 2 belts with me, but I will from here on out. Come on, get up there. What really frustrates me about the Camaro breaking down this time is that I wasn't able to fix it on the side of the road. I've got these old classics. I usually build them so simply that it's easy to do everything. But I can't create a belt out of thin air. So that frustrated me a little bit there. Luckily, I was close enough to the farm that I was able to limp it over here by turning the water pump pulley for about 5 minutes or so, and then driving it for about a mile. Well, not even quite a mile. Driving it like half a mile. And then once I eventually made it here, it was sitting at about 250 something degrees, which is too hot. But this being a fresh build like it is, I doubt I hurt the head gaskets. I really hope not, at least. I don't think it was hot enough for long enough to really do anything, but I'm hoping at the very least that I didn't warp the heads or do anything, because they are aluminum, aluminum AFRs. I replaced my push button, so I've actually got one now. It's not 2 wires. The Summit panel ones went out, and I learned after doing that, you cannot get a replacement push button starter. That's the same one that comes with this Summit panel. You got to pay like 70 something bucks for a new one. So I just got an eBay $2 one that's not quite the same, but it's close enough. Okay, please, come on, baby, start. We're back. She ran just like normal, like nothing ever happened. We went over 6 grand. Temperature stayed right at 200, which is where it usually stays in 60, 65 degree weather like what we've got right now. Belt nice and tight. Reservoir exactly where it usually is when hot. So I think we may be in the clear, guys. At least I've got my fingers crossed. I guess we'll see as I continue to drive this. But it ran exactly like it usually does. All its power was there, nothing abnormal. So I think we're in the clear this time. And I will definitely be keeping another belt in the car from now on because I can't have that happen again. That is the stupidest reason to be left on the side of the road. But thank y'all for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments.